Hello, hey everyone. So I have still been working, even though I've been playing a little bit of Final Fantasy. I have spent the last couple of days trying to get the saving system in place so that when you go from one area to the other, it manages to remember that you still have inventory items. Now that I'm getting that stuff out of the way, like that, once that's finished or at least in place, then I'll be able to actually like. So these are two different maps. I'll be able to implement the menu that pops up when you channel a home point, and then I have some more functionality that was added in so that I can have a starting area that's kind of like how Dark Souls did it, where you start off and it's not on a home point. It's just a beginner area that kind of gives you the tutorial on how to like do things, and I can kind of, I don't know, maybe have text floating in the air or something like that that's like tells you to reload your gun or equip a gun in order to, and I hand you stuff that's a little bit more straightforward, more tutorial-y. Maybe I shouldn't do that though. I mean, the nature of this kind of game, I'm not really against that. I mean, it's probably not a very long thing, and if it's anything like Dark Souls, I can actually just make it something that you could fucking die doing it. Like first fucking tutorial area, there's text floating in the air and you died. Um, so that's a I ended up making more entities. I now have a exit entity. I have functionality for secondary spawns that have travel tags on them. The travel tags work in a similar fashion to the progress tags. Each of these all have their own blueprints all set up. So the main thing that I'm doing right now is the save game and load game functionality. Now, I can get the really simple stuff in first, and that's pretty straightforward going on right now. Although I kind of want to. I'm getting pretty distracted by this, but alright. Check this out. Um, I mean, I know most of you probably who are, if you're following me, you're probably paying attention to Steemit. Don't worry, this is like totally public stuff, like, because it's on the blockchain. It's a public ledger. What the fuck is this? What the fuck? Like, I have 120, like 23 followers. Um, I've had a Steam account 563 posts. A lot of them are just like text. Like I didn't even like put pictures in them. Um, I guess the vast majority of this came from me just posting stuff like what I'm posting, like this video right now. But to me, this is alarming. I don't know. I mean, I knew it would go like, all right, $500. You know what I mean? And I knew that, but now I'm kind of like, uh, that's that's crazy. Oh man, what the fuck? So with that said, I don't know. Considering how much I'm getting from using Steemit, I might as well just make Steemit my main source. Like, can I even just post video? Can I just upload videos on Steemit? Like, at this point, I don't see a fucking reason other like I don't should I even could bother using VidMe and fucking I and YouTube? Like what if I mean imagine if I was famous. Imagine if I had like a large audience. What the fuck? I'd be living off of this shit. I'd have enough to live on. Like if I had like 100,000 followers or something. This is this is fucking ridiculous. Is this sustainable? It's all right. Anyway, side rant over. That that is just a thing. Um, I can't stress this enough right now. I know I've talked about cryptocurrency in the past. You, yeah, take it seriously. Take it seriously, or something, or explain to me that it's just make-believe money or something, because it appears to not be just make-believe money. Uh, yeah. Um, yeah, that's pretty distracting. That's really distracting. Anyway, there isn't really much else to go into other than the fact that this is going to take a bit of effort to implement for the save and the load player data thing. Um, the reason why is I'm saving so many things on the player. Not only am I saving things on the player controller is home to a plethora of different things. So I'm thinking I have to keep the levels, how many credits you're holding, experience points, experience thresholds for when you actually level up, progress tag, um, and hmm, all of the inventory. Now this is challenging because uh, this each one of these will require a function where I pass into it, and then it has to be converted into a class array rather than an object array, an actor array. And an actor array would then be saved into the as a a list over here. So like items, and then I would have to like turn that into like items base, right? And then I would make this a purple, right? And then on top of the purple, I would also have to have a couple of integer. This is a mess. I'd have to have a couple of integers for the level, item level, and you are an integer array. Actually, yeah, this would also have to be an array, and item min level. So I duplicate this. So essentially what this means is that I'm going to have to basically deconstruct the entire player inventory and then reconstruct it when I need it. And then I have to make sure that all the items have their proper stats and everything like that. I think it's not going to be as bad as it sounds because I did a pretty good job on maintaining uh, a structure, a child parent structure when it comes to items, and the the system for data tables is pretty effective and will handle the brunt of the things that need to be set on each of the items as they are spawned. But I literally am going to have to spawn when I load, spawn all of the items again, and then place them all into their corresponding slots. So that is like every one of the weapon slots where you had stuff equipped, and make sure that everything in my backpack is is lined up. Uh, man, like, see, each and every one of these things are their own separate object. So it's not like they're just variables that I can save on the character. You know what I mean? Like every time you do this, I have to it automatically deconstructs all of the items on the player, and I have to reconstruct them as soon as the level begins. This is the hub zone, by the way. It's not supposed to be like this, but this is where the crafting station and everything like that would happen, and this door is temporary. But basically, I'm going to have the starting area will take you to here, and you'll spawn in, and it's basically just another zone that you can just walk into. And uh, but the hub area, I want it to be kind of like part of the place. Yeah, very much like Dark Souls, actually. Like it's a section of of the place that you're exploring where everything went wrong, and there's all this terrible shit hidden around. Yeah. So once I save progress tags on the player and everything like that, like once I grab this bubble, I'll be able to go into this area and then come right back again, and the bubble won't spawn again, and I'll have everything in my inventory. It's just tedious. And then of course the menu, like every time you channel a home point, that home point will get saved into a list that stays permanently on the character, like you've unlocked it permanently. And a lot of the progress tags, I'm actually thinking that like the progress tags, like imagine if this was another menu, like I could even have like little things that tell you like progress tags that have their own icons for like the first battle, and you can kind of look at it, mouse over it, and it'll like tell you like you got this tag when you defeated the number one battle, and then there's like the dark boss where I'm actually kind of inspired by some of the boss fights in Final Fantasy 14, so I might actually make it like one of the boss fights where you walk into an area and there's a central thing, and while there's a standard boss fight, like not just a dude that spawns in the area, but like an enemy that's like flying around or something like that, and you shoot that guy for a little bit, and then things like zombies holding explosives or something like that spawn on the outer edges, and they start slowly walking towards the center, and if they reach the center, the bombs go off and they do tons of damage to everybody. Like, well, not everybody. It's just going to be the player. For right now, I'm more concerned with just doing this in single player. But yeah, like actually having like a staged boss fight where it goes into a phase where you actually have to kill all these zombies before they reach this, and it'll be kind of a DPS race, and you'll be doing that, and then a bunch of dudes will spawn, and then you fight those guys, and then the boss comes back out again. I'm actually planning to have stuff like that. I want to have stuff like that. I think it's easy to implement that kind of stuff, and yeah, eh, I just got to get past this one tedious hurdle of implementing the crafting system, which there basically be a crafting table right here, which I don't know. You just walk up to it, channel it, and it brings up the crafting menu, and make sure that it saves all of the home points, and yeah, like there you go. Fuck yeah. I'll be able to focus on. That's one of the things I like about this. I went about the design about this. I'm not trying to pat myself on the back, but I went about the design of this where I just get the core functions, the core structure of the game, and then like once this is in place, this is pretty much the design of the entire game. Like the rest is just the content. The boss fights and the fucking enemies spawning, and the areas that you explore, and like that. Like once I get that crafting table in place, sorry, there's a motorcycle outside. It's always motorcycles. Um, Once I get that crafting table in place, and I give the player the ability to unlock the fucking home points, and be able to travel around to them, and a proper exit menu, like when you hit escape. Yeah, that's the game. Like that's it. That and the rest is just making the fun stuff, which is gonna be the enemies and the fucking guns and hiding cool shit in corners, and that's it. Like I'll just continuously pump out stuff like that. So anyway, yeah. All feedback welcome. Hope you enjoy watching. Stay tuned for more. Definitely stay tuned for more. Sorry, I've been kind of slow a little bit on this, and um, I might do a couple of just fun videos like showing very short clips of me getting killed in Dark Souls, and maybe stuff in Final Fantasy 14 just for the fuck of it. I realize it's not a first person shooter, but that's it, and done.